2015 to 25, what all has changed? A lot has changed. What all has changed and what propelled you to finally come with the sequel, as they say?
I've been writing for a long time and I actually never thought I would do a sequel to Mrs Funnybones because I was writing sort of literary fiction, short stories, novels. And it was during the tour of my last book, Welcome to Paradise, when I realized that it meant so much to so many people. They kept talking about it. They kept telling me about how it was their comfort food. I met various people, even now while I was doing all the interviews for this book. A journalist came to interview me and she said she took the first one with her when she went to cover Afghanistan. And it made me feel that I may take it a little bit for granted because I guess I've been doing the Funnybones columns for so many years, but it really connects with people. I don't know why it connects, but it means something to them. It is part of their life. And I felt it was the right time to do it.
And in the book, you speak about rejection and how when you're trying to make friends at the university and how you realize that you've overcome it. You come from a film family, you did acting, and you in your words, you were terrible at it. And then you came to to writing. It looks like easy now that you've done 5 books, but the first leap must have been terrifying for you.
I don't look at things as terrifying. I never have. Maybe it's just my innate nature. Maybe it's early experiences in life. But I don't really, when I'm doing something, I don't really think about the outcome or the reaction. I think about how do I get to be better at this? What are the skills involved? Am I prepared? The only things in my hand are my preparation and my execution. The outcome is absolutely variable. But each thing I've ever done in my life, I've always gone and I've tried to study the craft behind it. So when I was working in design, I wanted to, not only know how to read plans, I wanted to be able to draft them. Not that I ever needed to draft them, so I learned AutoCAD. But if you know how to draft a plan, you can read it very quickly and very easily, and that is what I required at that point of time. Even here, I've been writing for now 13, 14 years, but a couple of years ago, I decided that I want to go back to university and get a master's in writing because I was interested in all the scaffolding behind books, behind novels. How do they work? Break it apart, put it back together. So those are the things that interest me, and I worry about that. The outcome is not in my hand, and I never worry about it.
Like, what is your process like when you're writing? Like, when do you get that quiet of time कि मुझे यही करना है? Man of the house नहीं है, prodigal son नहीं है, smarty pants नहीं है.
I think in the beginning, they probably didn't understand what I was doing, and I also didn't know how to bifurcate my time. I remember when I was doing Pajamas Are Forgiving, and I was in the midst of the book. It was my, I think, 11th draft, and my daughter came to me and she said, it's been a week and we haven't opened my birthday presents, and it really hit me that I've been kind of blindsided and focused in different ways. But now as I've, aged, I've found different ways of managing my time. So one thing I tell my family is that my mornings are very precious because that's when my brain works, that's when I can write. So I get up very early, and depending upon my day, it could be 6, it could be 6:30. If it's 6, I immediately get a cup of coffee, I sit down and I start writing. If it's a little bit later, then I have to just look at my daughter, send her off to school, and then I sit at 7:30. But that is my precious time. So if anyone comes during that period, I now have explained that that is very sacred. I will protect it, I will guard it, because that's when my brain works. In the afternoon, it does not work. It's just snoozing. And as the day progresses, I go according to what my body can do, what my abilities are. So my mornings are for writing. My afternoons, I'll go into the office. Late evenings, when absolutely, nothing is working, I might exercise a little, do yoga, lift some weights. So I work according to what my body permits me at this point of time. I'm not 25 where I can dictate terms to my body. Now my body dictates terms.
That's true. And tell me about Mrs Funnybone, the title. Naming is terrible in your family, at least the mother side. No, I wouldn't say terrible, but
It is terrible, I agree. I guess I didn't have enough of strange names, but I've adopted quite a few. Mrs Funnybones, Baba Twink Dev, all of these, I can't even blame my parents, they were all done by me. Again, it is everything that causes you pain. There's a silver lining. You can find laughter in it. I have broken every bone in my body. Every bone. There's nothing left. I've broken my tailbone. I've broken my collarbone. I've broken my arms, my legs. I have 40 ligament tears on my left, 10 on my right. And it's caused me a lot of pain over a period of time. But it also gave me, I would say, time to just sit and read, because I couldn't really move, so I had no choice, and it made me the person I am today. So when I was, wanting to get an ID on Twitter, the Twinkle Khanna was gone, Twinkle Khanna was gone. So I said, what should I do? And I just thought to myself, okay, maybe I am perhaps slightly funny, and I have all these funny bones, and that's where it kind of joined and became Mrs Funnybones.
So, talking about bones, did you break early in life? Like, you were a tomboy, I think.
I've broken bones.
You've broken some teeth of some kids.
I've done that too, but I've broken, I think I pretty much broke my collarbone when I fell off a window, bounced on a cycle and fell on the floor. Don't ask me. And I must have been, I think, maybe 8 or 9. That was the first one I broke. And then...
Is there a thing where you feel that, I feel every creative person has to find their creative outlet. आपके लिए acting नहीं था, maybe writing. When the realization hit that you were writing columns as you say for a while, when the realization hit that you can write books and maybe multiple books at that.
I didn't again think about it that I'm going to write a book, I'm going to write this. I had stories in my mind, and that was the most important thing. I was writing half a novel when I was in my teens. I've tried to write that book at least 4 times in my life and failed all 4 times. I've never been able to write that particular book. But I had different stories, and I kept writing those stories. I never thought, is this going to become a book? Is it going to be a short story? I just wrote, and eventually I had enough work. So I think there are 2 ways that I believe we need to live. One is you sit down once in 6 months and you have this big list of what you want to achieve. And the other is what you do every day and then forget about that big picture. And if you just keep doing everything that's on your to-do list, you finally end up with your wish list. But people keep looking at that wish list and they forget that every day you have to work at that to-do list.
That's true, that's true. One of your stories had turned into a film script.
Yeah.
And there are many columns which have become successful franchises out there in Hollywood. Do you wish Mrs Funnybones become something like this on screen or no?
Don't have any such desires. People came to me, they wanted to make an animated series out of Mrs Funnybones. Again, I'm not looking at it. I'm not looking at, oh my God, this story needs to, get adapted. I had a story that has been successfully adapted, Salam Noni Appa, as a play which has been running successfully for a dozen years, But I never look at that. It doesn't interest me beyond a point. I have put out a story. And that is what I wanted to do. Then when I have something in my mind, for example, I really thought that the topic of menstrual hygiene needs a wider audience. My columns and books are not going to reach that audience. So I produce Padman. So it depends upon what is the message, who is it going to, and what medium.
Interesting, because I thought it would automatically lend to the screen, like something that you like.
I never think about that.
आपको film side में उतना interest नहीं है उस तरीके से, like.
मैं इतना सोचती नहीं हूँ कि ये इसका क्या होगा. मैं सोचती हूँ मैं क्या कर रही हूँ. अब मैंने ये काम कर लिया, वो इसका क्या होगा वो तो दूसरे पे है, वो मेरा काम नहीं है.
You wanted to know the nuts and bolts of writing. You got that. Having done that, how do you see the before and after of that?
I feel that when it came to my fiction, it was completely different because I could now break down I mean, multiple things. I was very fascinated with the way time moves in stories, and now I could break that down and see how time moves in stories. But when it came to writing the columns, nothing changed. I think I'd already, I guess, perfected a system that worked for me when it came to the columns, so that didn't change. In fact, Chiki was very worried when I told her that I'm going to do my master's, that, you know, your voice will change when you write now. Your tone will change. You'll become more pedantic. You'll become more, you know, sort of stiffer, perhaps. It didn't happen. And it was a surprise. It surprised her, it surprised me. So the columns didn't change, but the fiction changed drastically, according to me.
So you're writing something else after this?
I am 30,000 words into my next novel.
Oh, wow.
And yeah, but it's going to take me at least another year and a half, I think.
But 10 years, 5 books, not shabby at all, I would
Well,
say.